Yeah.
Excellent. Thanks for joining us. This is Craft Beer Blab coming at you every Tuesday night, 8 p.m. Central Time. To my left, or is it right? I don't know. He's usually right beside me, is Jonah D. Pasquale, my co-host, the man with the plan. Hopefully, we seem to have figured out his audio issues, and he can actually be heard a lot more clearer now. So
seriously, who knew?
And below us, we got Nate Church from Artisan Beer Club. We'll be talking to him very shortly here.
I know,
Looks like
right?
Nicole Whitty is back in the house, and what's up?
Nicole.
We've had some good talking with Dan K already.
Seriously.
As well as Theme Park Drinker was in the house, and hopefully we get some other people in here. But let's get started. We got an excellent hot topic here. Let me just find it. Here we go. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, so the biggest news, right, is Oscar Blues. There he goes. Look, he can even check his camera.
Wait, that's fantastic. Nice.
See, that's what happens when we start drinking too much. That's like, after the halfway mark.
Yes, definitely, definitely.
So the big news this week is Oscar Blues purchases Cigar City Brewing.
Oh, yeah.
And what is really kind of interesting about that, at least on a personal perspective, is that I have only recently tried Cigar City High Ally, which is one of those beers that everyone tells you got to have. And then I know that you, Jonah, you just tried that yourself too, not too long ago.
Oh, that was just this past weekend. I laughed, I cried. It was almost better than Cats. No, it was good. It was good. Good stuff. Good stuff.
Yeah. Theme Park Drinker. We live on Cigar City down here. Yeah.
Jealous. Very jealous. See, Theme Park Beer Drinker could be our cooking supply pipeline.
Yeah. Right. Well, until they get that national distribution from being purchased by Oscar Blues. So, it's pretty big news. So, and I've got your hookup. Always willing to trade. There you go. See, that's what we gotta do.
There we go.
See, we gotta get that Facebook group trade thing happening. Here's the link to the Facebook group.
That's right.
Check it out. Go in there, make friends with the other people in there, and then we can get trades of cooking supplies going, because that's what's going to be really exciting. And I do apologize because I don't necessarily go on to Facebook as often as I probably should. I check in every once in a while.
Slacker. Slacker.
But if I don't see anything interesting, I'm like, hey, welcome to Craft Beer Blab, and let's get some trades going.
Dude, don't be hating on my cat pics and what I had for lunch. my political status updates and
holy
seriously,
cow.
Because I've got the Confederate flag is like a major picture of like my total
cats.
Right.
with cats. With
cats. The cats are waving that flag.
It makes it essential.
And saying,
riding on the backs of sharks and the pipeline. While brewing craft beer.
Sharknado 4 is coming out.
Dude, seriously.
That's what I heard.
I know.
Speaking of which, Sharknado 4, and I think they're going to get Gary Busey.
Yeah, I saw that. See, now that'll be worth it for me to watch.
I'm in.
I haven't seen any of them yet, but yeah, if Gary Busey's in it.
Dude, I cannot believe you have not seen Sharknado. That is like that's a pedal.
You got it. It's like Piranha 3D. You got to see that.
Right.
Yes. But I did. Sorry.
Sticking with the.
Good. Go ahead, Nate.
Oh, sticking with the topic a little bit.
Yeah.
I know Cigar City not very well, but I did for a while. I still am a traveling consultant, and my client was directly across the street from Oscar Blues. So nice. I used to be able to walk across. I mean, it was really a busy freeway. I had no business crossing it, but I did. And so I would cross a busy freeway just to get my Oscar Blues. And so I think nothing but good things can happen for Cigar City on this one.
Oh yeah,
because Oscar Blues really embodies a lot of this small batch delicious beer life.
Right.
So that's my take on it.
Well, I think it's going to be a great thing. Well, and
Yeah.
so the backstory is that not Cigar City, Oscar Blues sold a majority, or I guess a large chunk of their company to this Fireman's Capital.
Yes.
And what that ended up happening is then Fireman's Capital purchased a couple of other breweries. I think there's one in Michigan and a couple in Utah, and I can't think of the name of them right now. But I think what that does is that helps them to be able to, one, distribute in a lot of different areas,
Yes.
and two, instead of, because a big thing with small craft breweries is that they contract brew through other breweries to get their product made, because their smaller breweries can't handle the capacity.
Right.
I think what this will do is it will allow, at least within their company, to be able to contract brew for each other to keep up with capacity. Nicole Whitty says Wasatch Brewery and Squatters. Yeah, I thought it was Squatters. Yeah, that's
Squatters.
Those are the ones out in Utah. Yeah, and Squatters, excellent beers. So
yes,
I think it's going to be a win-win for all those breweries involved. And we spoke with Oscar Blues last week. Jonathan, they're going to be in every state here in the next couple of months, which is amazing. Right. So, I mean, it's pretty big stuff if you can have your beer distributed in every single state in the country.
Well, that's like here in Rochester with Genesee Brewing. I mean, the American, I think it's the American Brewing Company or something like that, bought them, but technically they still are the Genesee Brewing Company. But my point is that they, i.e., we do brew other beers. So that's something that I what do they call it? Like, is it like white labeling? You know what they call white labeling? I mean, you
can white label, and there's contract brewing,
So right, so contract brewing, but I think that I agree with you, and as we said before, by the way, great show last week. We did have our good friend Jonathan Edwards from Oscar Blues on the show, so if you want to check that out on replay, definitely click on to Gunner's site. He's got that up on his replay channel. I think he put it on YouTube, but at any rate, that's huge. And I feel like, as we said before, one of the key things with Oscar Blues is it's definitely one of those small, big brands that get it. And I know, Gunner, you mentioned something about the fortune / non-misfortune of the Big Poppy there and Anheuser-Busch sweeping Big City. With unfortunately been the kiss of death, it would have become the shock top of Jacksonville, Florida, and I don't necessarily know if that's ever going to happen. I mean, I think Oscar Blues has their ducks in a row, and I believe that was a very well strategized effort to continue to help not only grow their brand but support other brands. And I feel like if it's done that way, not only does it keep the integrity of the company coming in and acquiring them, but it like we said before, right now the only way to get Cigar City, I mean, I had to go to Jacksonville. You know what I mean? It's right. Not really. It sure as hell ain't available here in upstate New York. Let's put it that way. And furthermore, neither is Surly, to name a number of beers, and as well as many of the folks in the audience probably have their local faves that aren't available. So I mean, I know you've been kind of a big fan of sort of stay true to your laurels and be that micro craft brew company. But I feel like the advantage of being able to couple with a company that has the distribution power, I feel that the benefit is as long as that brand stays intact and they continue to do what they do and not like sell out. I feel that will help the popularity. Now, with that said, the flip side is, we do have, the sad sacks of, the, Magic Hat. I mean, I can, we've had this over and over again. I mean, I can remember, back in the day, quote unquote, where Magic Hat was it was only available in Vermont. So to me, being an avid snow sports person, a snowboarder going up there, it was a treat to go up there to be able to get it, there. So, and then obviously they went the other direction, and we've had this conversation before. So I don't know. I mean, all in all, yeah, Jonah's thing. Oh my goodness! Nicole, if you suddenly get blocked from Craft Beer Blab, it's my fault. No, anyway. So no, but I think that it is a good effort that just took place, because I feel like what it's going to do is, if these things continue to take place, which they obviously will, I feel like it's like if again, it's the textbook. If you're going to acquire a company, this is, I think, the ideal playbook method of doing it, right? Because there, no noses were broken. I mean, Oscar Blues comes out looking like a champ. Cigar City, they're loving life, because now, believe you me, more and more folks are going to be seeking out that brand and that product. So that means it's a good thing to have those folks come on board.
Yeah, it's like Kanye West, right? If only we could give him money, then we could all enjoy.
Right, exactly.
Right. I know.
Right. Money is not wrong. That's so true. It's not. And it's. I think it's like what we said last week, and we've probably said it a number of times, is that if you can make your money and still keep true to your morals, I guess, or your beliefs, or whatever your passion. We were talking about the video from was it the guy from, I think it was Stone Brewing.
Yes,
he posted and his reasoning for not selling out, and saying that he basically likes to stick it to the man.
Interesting.
And so
you see the Park Beer said lots of hardcore Florida beer folks are pissed and boycotting Cigar City. I think that I can see. Well, I can see that happening. In all honesty, I can see that happening, because I feel like the good old garage day band or good garage band days are over, and I mean, like they say, this too shall pass, and I feel like in all honesty, I think people in Florida, what is the saying? Don't bite off your ear to spite your face, kind of thing. I mean, it's great. It's great beer. Tampa's baby. Oh well. Yeah,
and people feel blindsided. I can see that you have something that's local and is in your heart, and then all of a sudden it's like, what do they even care about us now? They're going to be, they're going to be huge. They're going to be out there. They're selling out. They're considering, because I think part of it was that what Nicole Whitty said, it's not like they said yes to InBev. So they did have actually InBev, Anheuser-Busch was looking to purchase them.
Right.
And they had a exclusivity agreement with them that they wouldn't consider anyone else until InBev gave them an offer.
Right.
InBev didn't give them an offer, and so they were able to shop around and find one else. It's, I don't know. I understand it from it's local, it's mine, I feel a part of this.
Sure.
But then on the other hand, as Nicole Whitty just said, they should be proud.
Right.
As long
Agreed.
As they keep putting out good beer and aren't like, okay. And you know what? I read an article about, I can't remember who it was, but it was one of the companies that InBev has purchased. And then all of a sudden they start putting out, fruit flavored beers and this and that. While on the other hand, Anheuser-Busch puts out those commercials that say, your peach infused whatever pumpkin beer is crap, and we make real beer. The whole Anheuser-Busch theme, I mean, it's getting old because we talk about it almost every week, but it's just I don't know. I don't want to get on a soapbox on this again. Sure.
Yeah. Well, I think I mean, again, my take on it is I believe that there's without question some hardcore, FLA residents that have their noses slightly bent because of it, and rightly so. I mean, they want to keep what's theirs is theirs. I mean, theme park, just to put it in perspective, I mean, Gunner, he's got his little Surly Brewing nest up there in Rochester, Minnesota, and I'm dying to get, some of that. Thank you. Some of those cooking supplies in my neighborhood, but right now it's virtually impossible. We got a couple cast of characters who are not on tonight. Red Flag Dan's on here, and Dan Bloomberg, that are usually pretty, in agreement with that as well. But either way, I think that the bottom line is, I think, Nicole said the same thing. It'll definitely help tourism. I'm sure that more people will be helping out. And by the way, Cigar City also is not only a brewery, it's a restaurant as well. So I'm sure that restaurant's going to start kicking some ass down there in Jacksonville.
Right. Well, and
so just to offer a little perspective about for Tampa folks, I'm actually from St. Louis, and I always liked Anheuser-Busch as my session beer. Like 3 or 4 into it, when you can't taste anything anymore, the price was right, and so I felt the same thing when InBev bought Anheuser-Busch. That maybe some of those Florida people are feeling. But I think that Cigar City got a better deal than Anheuser-Busch did, because I think they're in good hands with Oscar Blues.
Right.
I think InBev is obviously there to make money, and some of the stuff that we really love about Budweiser, like their commercials, I mean, they've really gone downhill, and so. I mean, that was like my favorite part of Budweiser beer for years is their commercials, right? Not the beer, but but I mean, now I don't even get good commercials. I got some sort of,
seriously,
the frogs and all of those things. That was the amazing part of Budweiser.
Buzz McKenzie, come on now,
right?
Yes, that was what was perfect.
The old what's up? Yeah.
I mean, my session beer is now Coors Light because they did that Jean-Claude Van Damme thing where he's got the cold pants.
That's awesome. Yeah.
I might be motivated by commercials more than I should, but I drink good beer until I can't taste it. So.
There you go.
Seriously. That's awesome.
Was it Bignelski? I hope I pronounced that right. Bignelski. He has a good point. He says, if you want real local beer, then don't you really need a cooperative brewery? And I think he makes a good point about local beers because, if you want local beers, then you should be purchasing beers from your local area. But then I kind of, and I'm not trying to say, I'm throwing it in your face, but even local beers, even local breweries, think about this, they're not truly local because a majority of their ingredients, besides the water, is probably coming from out of state.
Right.
So like I have a local brewery here in Rochester, Minnesota. I go down, I purchase a beer. I'm thinking, all right, I'm supporting local beer. Well, I'm not supporting local farmers. I'm not supporting local grain farmers. I'm not supporting local hop farmers. There's very little of that going on where local breweries are using local ingredients.
Right.
So, I do try to support local breweries, and there are cooperative breweries that are doing a great job. But even they aren't truly local. And a lot of local breweries will have like a single beer that they use that they will say, okay, well, this is our real local beer where we're using local hops or local grains.
Right.
But it is kind of a world, marketplace. So marketing and subliminal messages work on Nate. Note to self.
Heck yeah, they do. They work, dude. They work very well.
Yeah.
I can be manipulated.
They do bring local jobs, yes. Nicole Whitty has that point. They do bring local jobs. You hire people locally to work in your brewery. That's always a good thing. That is what's going to help the local.
I apologize.
Yeah.
I apologize. I'm actually brewing beer right now. So
see? Excellent. Nice.
No.
I got one other small little hop topic to touch base on that is kind of a weird thing. So I came across this this story about, okay, so we have a local, we just spoke about local, but we have a Minnesota brewery called Bent Paddle Beer.
Okay.
And there is a town called Silver Bay.
Okay.
And apparently what happened, and I just threw the link up to the story there.
Yeah.
The city council of Silver Bay has removed Bent Paddle Beer from the municipally owned liquor store.
What?
So here in Minnesota, we have some towns have liquor stores that are owned by the city.
Dude, that's shady.
Yeah, it's shady. And the reasoning why they did this is because Bent Paddle Beer was against some sort of mining for, I think it's for iron. What happens is that it releases stuff into the water. That water eventually goes down into Lake Superior, which copper and nickel, exactly. Yeah.
Dang, girl.
And so eventually the water could go, and so what they're saying is that we support clean water.
Right.
So we don't support this type of mining. But Silver Bay City, that's where a majority of their town's income is from mining.
Right.
So they're taking it as, well, you're against us, so we're going to ban you from our municipal stores.
Ugh.
Which, it leaves a bad taste in my mouth. Because, why should government get involved in what? I mean, well, first off, why is government in charge of liquor stores in the first place?
Exactly.
That's a total.
It's crazy.
Thing.
I believe that's actually pretty common in Utah. I believe everything's owned by Utah, and Nicole's going to know because she's known everything so far.
Right?
And they actually have a pretty amazing infrastructure put up. But I mean, yeah, I'd say amazing infrastructure in the way that they organize their liquor in warehouses and distribute it. But okay,
yeah, Utah has a limit on ABV. I think they actually just raised it.
I do like the polygamy porter.
Is that a Squatters? I think it is.
I think it is too. Or what's that? It's one of those.
Yes.
Yeah. I remember that label and that name. Yeah, it's one of those like, oh, I feel kind of dirty picking up this 4-pack of beer.
Well, it was my first session porter too. The concept of a session porter. So,
right.
In a lot of ways, the holiday porter we made was an attempt at a session porter. It was a little bit stronger and a little more full flavored than theirs, but well, I digress. Sorry, this Silver City thing.
No, yeah. Well, what do you guys think about either municipal liquor stores or city council? And actually, I think there were a lot of people on the city council that voted against it, saying,
right, yeah,
we have no business. We just carry what people buy, and if people don't buy it, then we won't carry it.
Right.
Versus being forced to not carry a beer. I don't know.
I think it's the same argument I have with smoking. I'm not necessarily a fan of places that allow people to smoke, but I think it really should be the business's decision.
Yeah, totally.
I mean, because if you've ever eaten in a Denny's, Denny's without smoke and being slightly hungover coming from a pub, I don't know how you eat it. I've tried to eat it sober before; it just doesn't work out. And so, if Denny's doesn't have smoking. Yeah, right. I mean, it's not the same. So, I like breakfast food as much as the other guy, but at 3:00 in the morning, yeah.
Nice.
There's only one reason to eat Denny's. It's because, for real.
Waffle House. Nice.
Oh, for real. For real.
And Dan K says, I think that the ATF should be a store.
Look at that.
Nice.
I did a store. So proud of myself.
And Bisnelski says in Canada they have beer store. It makes the beer more expensive. Yeah, well, see, and that's what I would think too. Is if there's municipal stores, then are they taxing more? Are they raising the prices more and charging exactly whatever they want because they can, and that money goes into the general fund for the town.
Yeah.
But anyway, that's all I got for Hot Topics. Jonah, you got anything? Or Nate, you got anything you want to talk about?
I'm good. That was pretty solid. I mean, we certainly could have wrapped that up into an entire show, but no, I think that was good.
Yeah.
It was
Right.
Bro. Trying to stay out of politics, right?
Right, exactly. Yeah, politics and religion. Let's not talk about that while we're drinking beer. So
seriously.
Slasha.
So, Artisan Brew Club.
Yes.
Let's get into that because that sounds exciting.
I love it.
It is pretty exciting. I don't know if you guys have ever started a business before, but I mean, so I have a day job, and I'm like everybody else. I hate it, and I mean, if anybody's listening right now, I actually love that job.
Right. Oh yeah, I love where I work too.
Right.
It's
But
awesome.
besides all that, I mean, the thing is that I'm doing something I love, and somebody asked me once, they're like, "Well, what is your definition of success?" I'm like, all the beer that I drink is now tax deductible, so pretty much it's awesome.
Nice.
I can make $0 the rest of my life, and I'd be pretty happy. But I love it, and people seem to like the message. So we're pretty fired up about it. It's been a good time for us. So
nice. Now, your club, is it a monthly or is it a quarterly? I can't remember now.
It's bi-monthly. So
bi-monthly,
the idea being is that every other month we send you all of the ingredients, all of the items, really, all of the perishable stuff that you need in order to brew your own beer at home. And we do 1 gallon batches. And so pretty much, you should have almost everything you need. We do sell the hardware for the stuff that you're missing. But if you got a nice big pot, you can brew your own beer at home. And the thing is that we chose not to do I'm going to give you this ain't a Betty Crocker cake mix. You know what I mean? So you can see here, I'm going to give your viewers a little view. It's a little dark. I'm going to tell you right now, I always make my beers too dark. I'm not going to win any contest because that's supposed to be a Dunkelweiss, and it is dark as snot. But it's delicious. All of my beers, so far, I've been lucky. I've been blessed. They've been very delicious. But we teach you to make, and then we use real grains. Like here's some caramel 40, and we give you a little bit of the real grains, and then we've got some sugar content in order to make it alcoholic, and and you make it at home. And we try to do fun. You're not going to get any crazy, amazing flavors. But I think everything we do it's always a good beer. And the idea being is that you don't really know what we're going to send you in 2 months. So our next ship date is April 7th. And, if you've been following us, you might have a clue of what we're sending out, but we send out a light beer and a dark beer. And then, and if you choose a track, right, you say, "Oh, I want the light beer subscription." Then we send you whatever our light beer of that period is. It's bi-monthly. Gives you a little time. And then basically you get the beer, you brew it, and you either like it or you hate it. And we're really looking for feedback. I think the one beautiful thing about 1 gallon is that if you don't like it, you've got a friend who will drink it.
Right.
Usually it's me. I'm usually that guy.
Nice.
You give me three or four bad beers, and then good beers, and then I'll drink a truckload of bad beers.
Pumpkin.
Yeah.
Do you drink pumpkin beer? Okay, good. You can drink it for me because I can't stand it.
Hold on. I might be able to do pumpkin beer, but we're talking like that. That's like me playing wingman for you. Like. Right. But I can do a pumpkin beer. It's gonna be tough. But I can do it. So
no thanks. I'll send
it's the same thing with like booze. Like I buy the good scotch and stuff up front, and then afterwards it's house. I don't even know the difference.
Right. Yeah. You have a couple and
Yeah.
And then it doesn't matter anymore.
Well, unless you're Nicole Whitty, she refuses. She refuses to serve anything less than the best. So she's 3.78541. No idea what that is.
That's the number of liters in a gallon, if I'm correct.
Nice.
Liters. That's awesome. Nice.
God dang liter of cola. So we did get our supplier sent us at 1.4 liter bottles. So we also ship out 4 liter bottles. But if you do the math on that one, that's actually 0.2 liters less alcohol. So
oh no, that sucks.
Yeah,
bastards. You have to get you.
Yeah.
Nice. Now, one gallon, that comes out to what, a little over a 6-pack? Is that what it is? Like if you're thinking,
it depends on how you cut it, and if you haven't brewed before, there's at the bottom of your bottle there's a layer of yeast.
Yep.
And you don't want that in your bottles, so you usually lose a little bit. So it comes out to about, I get about 11. Some people 11 beers. Some people can get 12. Some people get 10. It really has to do with. Right. I also will drink the yeast. I don't care. So some people won't. I don't care.
No, yeah. I'm personally, yeah. From the beers that I've brewed them myself, it depends. If there's a really thick yeast thing on the bottom, then I won't. I think Nate's trying to get the new one.
Oh my god, it's fucking awesome. That's great. Well,
Nicole, where in Louisiana are you, Nicole?
Radio silence, I guess.
Western Monroe. All right. Because I had the client in Denver. I also had a client in Baton Rouge for a while too. So I used to fly into Baton Rouge every week, and
nice.
Yeah, Abita. I like the Abita quite a bit.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know that I'd even try to. I'd try to make a purple haze. I think that's just too. Duck Dynasty, neighbor, of course. That and we're the guys who make the guns. The crazy TV show with the guns.
No idea.
I don't always drink the Easter eggs, but
Red Jacket Firearms. They have a TV show too.
Show?
Sons of Guns.
I didn't even know that.
Sons of Guns.
Yeah.
And they make like these insane, silly guns. Like it's like ridiculous. It's like like zombie guns, and I mean basically stuff you'll see in the movies. That's what it is.
I'm in.
Nice.
Sweet.
Excellent.
So
this is my brewery.
You guys are also pretty open about your recipes, because just looking on your site, so you like your doghouse ale, you have the full recipe right up there. Exactly, you got your 40 malt crystal or 40L crystal and 2-row malt and all the other ingredients. So it's kind of like open source. Are you guys afraid that would you be afraid of somebody else taking that idea and saying, hey, we're going to make a beer club and here we got recipes that we can already do? Right.
Yeah. I mean, technically, I guess I could be stealing other people's recipes too. I for our point of view, we're locking both work in IT. So at our our other jobs, and one of the things is that open source is really the way to go. And I mean, the thing is that maybe we'll lose 2 or 3 customers who want to save $1, but for the most part, you find that people are willing to pay you for a good idea, and they're willing to keep you going. So yes, I have hops, but I don't grow them myself yet. So the thing is that, I mean, we debated this around and around, and it's do we just give up our recipes? And we're like, well, why not? I mean, some of the big breweries do it now, especially the craft breweries. And if you start looking around, you can get their recipes.
Nice.
We're actually we're fingers crossed. We're talking to a couple breweries right now, and what we'd like to do is ship out their recipe for beers that you can get in the store. So
nice.
I'm not supposed to tell anybody about that, but if I can pull that off, I send out the recipe and you get a little thing and you get to try your own. Let's just say it's a really good day and I get Old Chub, right? You get to compare Old Chub versus, your own version of Old Chub.
It'd be awesome.
And we all know that at a certain point you're gonna have to go buy more Old Chub anyway. You can't. You don't. I mean, I can't brew enough Old Chub to actually not buy Old Chub.
Right.
Or the left-hand milk stout nitro. I mean, none of these guys have given us any of their recipes. I'm just making a wish list.
No, well, yeah, it's something to keep in mind. Well, and that reminds me because what is it? There's a Scottish brewery. Was it? Here it is. Brewdog. Brewdog just recently released all their recipes online. I just threw up the link.
Mm-hmm.
So all their recipes of all their beers that they make, these are 5-gallon batches. But basically, kind of, your philosophy there, open source. Hey, have at it. Make your own beer.
Right.
I'm sure you'll buy our beer, and there's nothing wrong with sharing. And, when it comes down to it too, it's kind of like baking cookies, right? So you have this person with, I got this secret cookie recipe, and I'm not going to give it to you. There's 20 other cookie recipes out there. Some of them could be better. Some of them could be worse. You try
beer cookies.
Seriously? Oh yeah, there you go.
Beer cookies.
So,
nice.
There's nothing wrong with sharing recipes, because even if you have the exact recipe, and even if you source the exact the ingredients exactly the same, say you get the grain from Oscar Blues and you get the hops that they use and you get everything, you're still going to brew a different beer. It's going to come out different.
And that's what we found. Part of our quality control process is that we have 3 or 4 people that help us out with our recipes, and we just give everybody the ingredients, and then we taste all of the versions, because like you said, it comes out very different. And because we're trying to teach and share. I mean, we're men and we make stuff. I mean, and women too. Nicole. I'm sorry.
Nicole just said, I'll stick to the beer to wash down.
We're humans. Nice. Nicole's got a garden.
Seriously.
No, but I mean, we make stuff. That's what this is about. This is about, okay, I'm gonna, Pinewood Derby. This is Pinewood Derby.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. We're gonna make race cars. Right. Anyway, I digress rapidly.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Well, okay, this is totally off topic, but so Jonah and I do another show on Thursday nights. Jonah's the host, so it's Bike Chat, and we talk about all things bike related. And so recently there's this whole mechanical doping controversy going on. But one of the articles that I read that was about this whole mechanical motorized doping related it back to this old Pinewood Derby cheating incident that happened. I think it was in the 70s.
Yeah.
That people were using these. Oh, here's how it correlates to the bicycle stuff, is that they were using a certain type of magnet.
Yep.
That when the gate dropped, the car actually kind of used it as a slingshot to fly down the lane faster. So, I don't know. Your comment about Pinewood Derby kind of flicked this thing in my brain that said, "Oh, mechanical doping and magnets." So, I don't know. Sorry.
No worries. Yeah, I actually, in my spare time, I also run what spare time I have, I'm a den leader for my kids' den, and one of the parents was telling me, you got to bake the wood for 30 minutes in order to, So,
wow.
When Locke called me and said, "Hey, we need to do this show," he started talking about, they're bike guys, and I mean, I'm not a very good bicyclist. I'm just going to tell you that right now. But I actually, and that's my son.
Hey.
But that's my Specialized, and this is my wife's Trek.
Nice. There you go.
Yeah.
Sweet.
We do a little bit of both, like whatever you got to do, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
All right, kids,
That's awesome.
Daddy's negotiating. It's a work call.
Business.
His name's Gunner, and it's Gunner. No, hey, all right, Daddy's going in his office. Woo! I got close.
Yeah. Nice.
Oh shit! I'm almost out of beer again.
Awesome.
Anyway, yeah. So to lower the weight, I guess is what he was telling me.
Yeah.
So Bick knows how to do this. Bick Nelsky. But I haven't even started working on my son's car yet because I have no idea how to do these things. I mean, I can make beer, but
Right. Oh,
actually I can cook too, but I'm terrible at this whole car engineering thing.
so for you personally, when you're brewing beer, do you like? Are you a stovetop guy, or do you have like a burner in the backyard and that kind of stuff?
So I'm a stovetop guy. I do a lot of it. I try to. I use all the same equipment that we sell because my thought is that if I'm going to do it, I don't want to. I mean, somebody once said to me, "Well, you've got fancy equipment that I don't have," and I said, "No, I mean I do have some, but most of it is exactly the same. I got a fancy thermometer because I'm lazy, but for the most part, it's exactly the same.
Right.
And so I imagine that most of my subscriptions, they do it on a stove,
right.
like and that's the and then I put it up on top of the fridge so I can get the fastest flow into my bottles. I mean, I do it exactly the same way.
Nice.
And it's hard because sometimes I want to buy the triple. You've seen that it's got the burner at the 3 different levels and it all trickles down. Oh, I want that thing. I don't even know what it does, but I want it. And
nice.
But I mean,
because it's cool.
That's not what right. It's not what I do. And so part of the fun of doing this is also keeping it simple.
Right.
I mean, if I was trying to sell you guys, $3,000 worth of brewing equipment, and then you could do a really good beer. And I'm like, no, I want to do a good beer,
sure,
off your kitchen stuff.
Right.
I mean, you can make decent mac and cheese, just sitting around your house. You can make a great steak sitting around your house. Right. Why not? I'm not going to sell you a $5,000 grill so you can get a super steak or whatever.
Right. Well, I think the big thing though is, Nate, where you guys are coming from is I think you're making the point of entry very accessible. And I feel like, I've chatted with, Gunner a number of times about being, this home brewing jockey. And, I've caught a couple of his videos and I mean, he's like totally playing, he's playing his hand. He's totally into it. And he's majorly geeking out right now because you guys are talking the talk.
Nice.
But I think that, like, for example, for myself, Gunner has encouraged me a number of times just to try it. And I think that, Nate, that was kind of one of the nice things about having you on the show is, I enjoy craft beer. I think it's great. I feel like, to your point is it would be awesome to at least say, hey, I've made a batch of beer. And, to Gunner's point about where you guys are coming from, it's like, not like I've got like the bathtub full or anything like that, but just something that's just manageable. So, whatever, if it does end up, becoming something that I'm into, I mean, could I become like, a home brewing hobbyist? Absolutely. And I have friends that do that. But I think your point is, they're doing batches of beer, and it's like a hobby. Like, my neighbor up the road from my grandparents from the old country, he makes wine, but it's not like he's pumping out bottles of wine every day.
Right.
He just makes batches, and when it's done, he gives it to you, and stuff freaking knocks you on your ass because it's good. And I would believe that, with the recipes that you guys have, and obviously with a little bit of trial and error and tweaking, from what Gunner's saying, I think that would be that would be a great concept. Nicole, what does you think of burning all good pots on the stove from Nicole Whitty? Nice.
So that's a good question. I actually buy my own pots now. Two or three incidents. The hardest part about brewing beer is that you get a little distracted, and this is my deal with cooking as well. I stop paying attention when I'm doing it, and I'm like, oh look, there's a sports game on, or my kids are trying to set each other on fire. So,
something like that.
Then I wander off, and next thing I know, I'm burning water, and so I have a special pots that I use for brewing now. They're cheap pots, but the pots that we use for like frying turkeys and crawfish and those kinds of things, right, those are very much not the same pots that I use for brewing beer. So I have, it's one pot. I have one 3-gallon pot that I use.
Nice.
$30, enamel coated. Don't use aluminum. If you ever buy these, aluminum can leave a bad taste and it can mess with your stuff. So don't use aluminum. Weird. It's either stainless steel or enamel coated or copper, but I'm not rich.
Right.
Seriously.
Awesome. Great question, by the way, too. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I've done that too, where I've and even when you're paying attention, sometimes if you're using an extract and you don't turn the burner off when you pour the extract in, it'll sink to the bottom and burn right then. So it's like,
yeah. And I recommend that you do that. I because the other thing is that when you first pour in either DME or regular extract, when it mixes with the water and then it starts to boil, it really releases a lot of gases initially, and you'll really get the foam over. You're more likely to boil over during that first 2 or 3 minutes, and so I really recommend before you do it, I always turn off the heat and then I pour in the extract, or I wait for it to stop boiling and then I pour in the extract, because there's nothing. I mean, I like the alcohol content, and and I watching all those sugar molecules go over the side and catch on fire kind of makes me sad.
Yeah, you could be beer. Why are you doing that?
I know, seriously. That's
for real. Come back.
Yes.
Well,
Nicole recommends that I do my own dishes. Yeah, I do. I do my own dishes.
Yeah,
I do.
And so you do sell the equipment too, right? So you can buy a kettle and the fermenter and all that kind of stuff.
Not the kettle, but we do. You need to get the pot on your own.
Okay.
For the most part, we can't beat the prices from. How do I say this? Made in not U.S. I can't beat their prices, and so I'm not going to try. And I mean, for me, you buy the cheapest. Yeah, thank you, Vic. But
AliExpress.
So I basically, if you buy our glassware and stuff, we're selling it roughly at cost with shipping and stuff. And so if you can get a better deal somewhere else, for us, we ship it as a convenience to you. It's kind of like the open source thing. We're really only doing it because some people do this as a gift. And so if you're doing it as a gift or whatever, or if you pick it up yourself, you can. But I'm not in the glassware business. I don't have a factory with little fingers or stuff like that. So I'm really about beer. So the glassware is an ends to a means for me, and that's we talked about that earlier. I'm not gonna try to sell you fancy pots. We talked about doing lagers for a while, and the problem is that with lagers you need the refrigeration, and
right.
So maybe a couple of years from now we'll do a lager line, but I really want to make it, as Jonathan said, very accessible. I want everybody to get the thing is that everybody tells you, oh, it's so complicated, and you realize that it really comes down to some very simple premises, and
right.
No,
cleanliness above all else.
Sure.
Right.
Sure. Yeah.
Clean, wash, clean, sanitize, clean.
Right. Yeah.
That's pretty much.
Because when you're dealing with bugs, I mean, that's what yeast are, right? Nicole's probably going to correct me because she's a scientist or whatever. But when you're dealing with bugs, it's a matter of having good bugs versus bad bugs, and so
definitely
you control the yeast that you want versus the yeast that you don't.
Right.
And I haven't really gotten into sour beers yet because maybe I have control issues. I'm not sure what that's about, but if I can't control the yeast in there, it kind of is weird to me. So.
Yeah.
No, yeah. I've and me too. I've considered doing sours, but I definitely want like separate. I mean, not the brew kettle, but fermenting equipment, like separate, marked specifically for sours, because you don't want any of those things jumping over into your regular stuff. And oh my gosh, that would be a pain.
I just don't have time to fail. I mean,
right.
Cub Scouts. Yeah. Cub Scouts, man.
That's awesome. Cub Scouts. That's awesome. Nice.
So I don't know. You don't have to tell me if you don't want, but like, how many subscribers do you have in your in the club? I mean, is it like hundreds, thousands?
No,
millions? Millions?
Gosh, no. We still package everything by hand.
Oh wow.
So I don't have billions of yeast molecules, but no, we don't. We still package it by hand. I don't make enough money to hire. So the biggest thing that was the starting gap for us that was actually quite hard was the warehouse and all of the food regulations we had to adhere to.
Oh wow!
So when we got all that stuff lined up, and so what we do is that once a month we take a shipment from our suppliers based on number of subscribers, and then we head on down to that warehouse, and sometimes we spend all night drinking billions and billions of yeast molecules.
Yeah,
there you go.
Billions.
Thank you. That was for billions. But we go down there and then we just repackage everything and mail it out. And I mean, I don't know. It's nice because if you order from us, just realize we touch every single. I mean, our hands are washed, and right. I don't actually touch the grains. But I mean, it really is a small business. It really is. It's Locke and I, and Locke couldn't make it tonight because he's in class. He's studying for his what's it called, master's degree, which sounds like a silly idea to me, but I'm sure it's a great idea.
Yeah,
I'm sure it's good for him. I don't, but he's doing that, and so he's bummed that he couldn't make it. But then we do it every single package, every single and this one lady called us, and we had already sent out our shipment, and she said, "Oh my gosh, it's my husband's birthday. I meant to buy this, but I hadn't gotten paid." And so, Locke drove down to the warehouse and packaged it up for her by hand and sent it out mid cycle. I mean, and that's why you go with small business, right? I mean,
right.
You get that extra hug,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And for us, we love the beer. I mean, that's what we're here. We're here for beer, and we're not. I mean, I'm not gonna. I mean, as much as I'd love to, I'm probably gonna have another job, until throughout this entire thing. And I'm just going to do this because I love beer and I like sharing it with people. So
yeah,
it's awesome. Beer is communal. You know what I mean? I mean,
yeah, definitely.
It's a sharing experience. And you said it earlier, when you're brewing beer and you're sharing with people, it's really, so wait.
Uh-oh. No.
Oh, snap.
It's over now.
Trouble now.
Hello, Nicole.
Hey, so I totally missed it. Were the kids, do the kids help with the packaging in this? Is there child labor involved?
Yeah.
Dude, they're the ones touching these.
Yeah.
Nate.
I'm going to put them to work at a certain point, I think.
Nate is running a Cub Scout sweatshop in his house.
Cub Scout sweatshop.
That's pretty much the plan.
Yeah. Here you got to earn your badge.
You get a nice
Today you're going to do
badge.
the capitalism badge, kids.
Yeah.
You get a hops badge.
Oh, that'd be awesome. Nice.
Very nice.
Well, excellent.
Awesome. Well, that has been an hour
Anyway.
of craft beer blab, everyone. That is awesome that everyone is here joining in. I'm going to go ahead and stop recording, and we can do a little after party and see what goes on.